Hello, everyone. I'm gonna try and make this quick. uh, what has happened? Oh, yesterday I finally figured out on how to. I don't know why this light here is. I did that at the farm as well, so it must have something to do with the tablet. Right? Yes. Okay. I could explain this better, but I'm not going to go on to try to explain something that I full well know what's happening around me to someone who can't see anything. So, or doesn't believe, or this or that, right? Sometimes you have to say, well, I can't. I know what's going on. You're not in my shoes, and I'm not in yours, right? So, but I do know about the flickering, this and that, and there's nothing. These lights are not flickering or whatever. So let's just say it's just where the tablet is, right? Yes? Okay. Odd thing is it does that outside too. Where there's no electric light. Okay. We picked the pumpkins yesterday. We had to. It's what? Going towards the end of July, and we already picked all of our pumpkins. We had three little patches, yes, of one plant each, and one of them had three pumpkins on it, big ones, but this big. They didn't get bigger than this, but they're already ripe. It must be the heat that we've had, and then all the water. So and had to take them, and the other one had two, and then what, there was one more back here. There's more growing. I don't know if they're smaller. I mean, if they make it, they could become big again. We'll have some for October. We should have them regardless, but it's really warm now, so they have to be somewhere cool, kind of in the dark, so they don't keep ripening so fast, right? Yes, they keep ripening after they're pulled from the vine. Most vegetables are doing that. That is why they go rotten. Vegetables and fruits keep ripening after you pick them. Yes, okay. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I don't think people think often, about things like that. So, are they going to last until October, the end of October? Because my oldest granddaughter's birthday is October 31st, Halloween. Or not, yes? And I've given her, actually, for her birthday, pumpkins that I had grown myself as a birthday present. I know, right? Yep. It was special enough to me. And that one, that was a couple of years, 3 years ago, happened to be a volunteer as well in my manure pile. Anyway, so there we go. We did that last night, and that was fun. Let's get going. We are in the book of Ecclesiasticus 18. The greatness of God. He who lives forever has created the sum of things. The Lord alone will be found just. He has given no one the power to proclaim his works to the end. And who can fathom his magnificent deeds? Who can assess his magnificent strength? And who can go further and tell all of his mercies? Nothing can be added to them, nothing subtracted. It is impossible to fathom the marvels of the Lord. When someone finishes, he's only beginning. And when he stops, he's as puzzled as ever. That is perfect. I could not have said that better in a way. And while I was reading this, I thought, now we know what we know due to the fact that, yeah, and someone tried to say, oh, science doesn't know anything, and this, and I'm going, you know what, just don't even. I don't want to hear it. We know so much more now, right? Yeah, about the evolutionary process. Oh, so then, the 6 days of creation. I have said this before. Read the Divine Principle. There is the best explanation in there. Boy, I believe you. I am not someone that just goes and reads a book and goes, oh, wow, this sounds really good. I think I'm going to go and start following that now. I am not someone like that. I immediately went and started studying up on, okay, let's see, is this true? Every day of the 6 days of creation, I think that the seventh day should be included. The 7 days of creation. Because to create a day of rest, the Sabbath day, is part of it. That's just a spiritual aspect of it. Yes? Okay, all right. So, as believers in our heavenly parent, yes, and the afterlife, we should include the seventh day in the creation process. So it should be the 7 days of creation, not the 6 days. Yes? Okay. Just saying. Anyway, so I went and checked it out, and every day, from the first day to the 6th day, okay, the evolutionary process of every period it runs right along, parallel. The 6 days of creation and the 6 evolutionary periods. And they're exactly the same. As described in the Bible, they're exactly the same with in the scientific facts. And the interesting thing about that is that the 6 days of creation in the Bible came first. I'm just saying. I said, when you're a little bit knowledgeable, have studied up, don't just go by someone else and just go, and then, yeah, prayers. I said, spirit world is plenty accessible if you want, and if you really want answers. Yes, if you truly want them, sincerely want them, and want them honestly. People can pray or this or that or have all this give and take with spirit world while they're high and I don't know what. Oh yeah, spirit world talk. Oh, I had a dream. And they're getting exactly what they want. Did you hear what I said? They're getting exactly what they want. What they want. Believe me, your subconscious, very good. Yeah? At retaining the fantasies that you really want to be made real. Yeah. Yeah. But if you're really sincere about it, you will get the answers. You will find the answers. Maybe in a book. Maybe through someone else that has a good talk. And go, oh, that's exactly what I said. I'm going to go and study. And then go study up on that as well. It's work. Yes. To actually know the truth is work. Okay. Just saying. All right. This was good. The nothingness of human beings. Oh, come on now. If we're so nothing, then why did God even create us? It's just, as I said, the nothing. Here is the greatness of God. Yes. And then how we are nothing. Why? Why say that? If we're created, he said that before, if we're created in the image of God, well then guess what? Some of that greatness is within us. And yet we're nothing. Then there is the nothingness of human beings. You can't have it both ways. It's not possible. You can't tell me one thing and then give me something else where then, in a way, now what are you doing? That's brainwashing right there. Right? Yes? Why are you doing this? You're already, I retained the other thing that you said to me. Now you want me to go and believe something. Why? And there's always an agenda behind it. What did I just talk about? Even when you're having give and take with spirit world and think, oh, you really did it. Are you sure you are? And you're not just getting what you want to hear rather than what you need to hear? Okay. What is a human being? What purpose does he serve? What is good and what is bad for him? The length of his life, 100 years at most, like a drop of water from the sea or a grain of sand. Such are these few years compared with eternity. I know that this was written before Christ, I think. 100 years before Christ or something. But do you remember how long supposedly Adam and Eve lived? Or Adam lived. I don't know, but they don't really say a whole lot about how long the women lived, did they? Yeah, I find that interesting. A little oversight there. All right. Hundreds and hundreds of years, and here he says, how long are you going to live? About 100 years? 100 years. Even at that time, that was kind of, okay. If you're doing really well. Oh, wow. So things have never really changed, right? Even since then, yet we have these fantastic numbers. of how long people lived at the beginning of in Genesis, right? And yeah, just saying. I'm not saying. Just saying. I find that interesting. A little odd. This is why the Lord is patient with them and pours out his mercy on them. He sees and recognizes how wretched their end is, and so makes his forgiveness the greater. Human compassion extends to neighbors, but the Lord's compassion extends to everyone. This is good, though I don't necessarily agree again in which way that he put it in here. That is true. That is exactly true. Though, if someone's life has been on the side of not goodness and this and that, it's very difficult for our Heavenly Parent to be there then when your end is near. Okay? There are angels and other things that will be in place, hopefully. Okay, all right. Not going there today. But that describes our Heavenly Parent very, very well when it comes to what? Yes. And that is that. Don't add the fear, and I don't know what else to it. I just woke up, so that's why I still look a little bit. My eyes are a little tearing still. I slept like a log, and it was great, and I loved it. And I woke up, and I'm going, I gotta get up. So it takes me a little while to wake up in the morning. But I'm ready for this, obviously. Rebuking, correcting, and teaching, bringing them back as what? But the Lord's compassion extends to everyone. I thought that was done. There's a little more. I don't like it now. Rebuking, correcting, and teaching, bringing them back as a shepherd brings his flock. He has compassion on those who accept correction and who fervently search for his judgments. Okay, whatever that means. That last part, but I stand by the first part. And it's not that it's just the way it is in here again. It's why scare anyone with the presence of our Heavenly Parent? That is what I don't like. That is what I do not believe in. And I want that to stop. Because if there is someone that will embrace you with all of its presence and giving and compassion and love and I don't know what, when you're having a hard time, is our Heavenly Parent. If you let him or her do so. And then one doesn't need to go and commit suicide or fall into a depression where then what? You embrace what? Pills. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that they're not needed or no, they're not needed, but it is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? But due to the fact that basically, right from the beginning, the Levites have made, and then it continued right on through the whole world, through all generations, made God so inaccessible. So inaccessible. That fearing God and having nothing to do with God was better. Yes? That's really sad. So, the art of giving. My child, do not temper your favors with blame, nor any of your gifts with words that hurt. Does not relieve the heat. In the same way, a word is worth more than a gift. Why, surely a word is better than a good present, but a generous person is ready with both. A fool will offer nothing but insult, and a grudging gift makes the eyes smart. Oh, I should actually write this out. Some people need to hear that one. It's a good one, if you, for reflection and foresight. Learn before you speak. When I give constructive criticism, it's because there is a way for better for all of us. Oh, some of us are doing great. What do I care about other people? Well, I care. I especially care about children. So we got to do better together, and that is why. Yes. Yeah, the Levites. Yeah, I don't know where did they get their direction from. They had great direct. They got it all. The Ark of the Covenant, Moses and Aaron to begin with. Surely they had people already writing stuff down. Why didn't they follow that? Because they needed something from the people, and the only way to get that from them is doing what? Okay, just saying. It's always the same thing. Learn before you speak. reflection and foresight. Learn before you speak. Take care of yourself before you fall ill. Examine yourself before judgment comes. And on the day of visitation you will be acquitted. Humble yourself before you fall ill. Repent as soon as the sin is committed. Let nothing prevent your discharging a vow in good time, and do not wait till death to set matters right. Prepare yourself before making a vow, and do not be like someone who tempts the Lord. Bear in mind, in retribution of the last days, the time of vengeance, when God averts his face. In a time of plenty, remember times of famine. Think of poverty and want when you are rich. The time slips by between dawn and dusk. Everything passes quickly for the Lord. The wise will be cautious in everything. In sinful times will take care not to offend. Every person of sense recognizes wisdom and will respect anyone who has found her. Those who understand sayings have toiled for their wisdom and have poured out accurate maxims. Okay, that's his opinion. But I just realized something. That's the end of 18. That I have read the principle 7 times plus. But I read it all the way from beginning to the end 7 times. A couple of times out loud. The whole thing out loud. Or maybe even more than that. Out loud was more interesting than just reading it silently. Well, I had Spirit World to listen to, right? Yes? Okay. And I find, reading through the Old Testament here, that I find many of the in the way that things come up in the divine principle, God's will and ideal, yes, I find a lot of it in the divine principle. Literally what I've said before, where you got to find your way through this maze of people's words, of people's stuff in here that talks about God in one way or another, and you have to find the truth. And I believe that Father found many truths in the Old Testament, just like I did just now, or just like I'm doing now for a year and a half, and said, I need to pull this out. I need to write a book, the divine principle. I need to write a book where actually God's word can be seen. Yes? Do I agree with everything in the divine principle, even the original? No. But it's a work in progress. Oh, do I disagree that True Mother says, oh, let's put another one, let's put some more in it? I absolutely agree with that. You know, if one were to want to be technical about, you can't add anything and you can't take anything out. Yes? 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 Then what did Father do? So he's allowed? I'm just saying. There's a brother, Bruno. I have to mention you. He goes in into all these posts, this and that, where people are just trying to. They come up with this stuff that is, and he goes in and says, "You still confused, my dear brother or my dear sister? It's the best answer. I think I'm just going to start doing, Bruno. I might have to adapt what you're doing because it's good guidance." These people are confused. It's like they want, as I said, you can't have the bread. You can't go and buy the bread and keep the money. You're going to have to pay the money. You're going to have to pay up. Can't do both ways. Yes? Anyway, so what I've seen, and this is why I'm still here, defending true parents, sticking with true parents, teaching the divine principle as well, is because I have seen from beginning that I have entered this movement, become a part of it, and the blessing and all that jazz. I've seen it move forward. If I would have seen suddenly now there's a stop on. Somebody took over us, I don't know what, and they want us to do what exactly? No, that's not happening. I would have, the blessing is the blessing. Change of lineage already happened for my family. What do I care? I can move on now. I don't need to be a part of anything. Except for keep teaching my descendants, yes, to stay on the side of goodness with this and this and this, and keep helping restore my ancestors. That's all I need to do. I don't need to be a part of anything anymore. But the thing is that there's a lot of people out there still, right? They need this guidance. They just do. Yes? Because there's so much other crap out there. I call it what it is. Crap. Anyway, so that is that. 20 minutes. Yep, I got to get going. Anywho, so there is that. I could talk more and more and more about this, but I noticed that True Father found, and that's another thing too. True Father did not write the Divine Principle. It was some other woman that did it. Okay, maybe she did write it down. Father says, well, I've got all you guys around me. I said, I've got plenty to do. I have a lot to think about. I don't want to write everything down too. And says, I want you to write this. I want you to go and study that up, and I want you to write it down according to this, and this. He may have done that. I don't know. I would do that. I try to do that. Kind of direct the kids. And, okay, this needs to be done, so you go and do that. Then do it like this, and this. Sometimes it comes out okay, and sometimes I'm going, that's not the way I told them to do that. Okay, just saying. But the Old Testament has a lot of the Divine Principle in it. No, the other way around. The Divine Principle has a lot of the Old Testament in it. Father, I believe, did exactly the same thing as I'm doing right now. Trying to find God's actual work. God's actual guidance. Word, not work. Word and guidance. Through the maze of other people's whatever at that time. Yes? And I think he did a fabulous job of the Divine Principle. It's a beautiful book. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, again, read past what you cannot agree with yet. Read past with what you do not understand. Okay, I do that. I mean, I read it anyway, but I'm still not getting it. No, I don't think that's part of it. So, as I said, the Divine Principle too still has things in it that haven't been figured out. According to God's will and ideal. So, yes, I sure hope that. I think Mother's getting too old to do a whole lot more. You never know. I don't know what she really does. Okay, other people seem to know more than I do, of course, and better than anyone else, and then they want to go and gossip, slander, rumor. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Father, I remember, sat at the table with a whole bunch of people and was eating, and here comes a guy and says, hey, Father, I need to tell you something about someone. Father says, don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear rumors, gossip, I don't want to hear it. Tell me the good stuff. That's what he said. So, there you go. You want to be hanging on. Huh? Yes? Father's pant legs, the way you do. Some of you do. Then at least do listen to what he has to say when it comes to and how we're supposed to get along with each other. Yes? Okay, that's enough. I had enough to say. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, and embrace you with love. Let him, let her embrace you with love. Yes? Interesting, I could say, right? Yeah, there's some gender fluidity going on, right, with our Heavenly Parent. But that's where it stops. Right, that's where it stops. That's probably the only place where there ever has been and will be that those dual characteristics equally in a presence of masculinity and femininity. Otherwise, you're either a woman, and yes, you will have some masculine traits. Fathers told us that too. There is some of that masculinity within every woman, but you're a woman. And in a man, you're a man. Done. Yes? And there is some femininity within a man as well. And I believe God created us this way so that we can understand each other better. Not do all this other stuff. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Eldritch, my dear brother, I love you. Let's keep praying. Yes. And I will talk to you all another time.